right now is about that. I've been a fan of that subject for a long time, particularly ever since we opened this mudra. The sun and the moon rule only one place each in the sky. Cancer and Leo at the top of the chart, top of the Northern Hemisphere chart. We know that Leo rules the heart. We're flashing the strength card. The Leo card is strength, right? Look at the strong king of the jungle cuddled up to the lady with the infinity symbol over her head, the infinity halo, and the seeming juxtaposition in that image to the word strength, but not when we really break it down, right? The heart, the cor, the courage, il cor in Italian, the heart, il cor is the heart, and the word courage is right there. The core of the apple, the center. And if Leo is fixed fire, why would the sun rule there? The sun, if Sagittarius is the mutable fire that is going to exaggerate what it sees in other ways, the sun can merely shine in every direction. That's all it can do. It can only be fixed. Whereas the Martian cardinal fire of Aries is going to initiate and charge forward. So if there's one place in the body that is fixed with that fire burning, it is the heart. When we tap in, I've talked about this subject too, the fire in the heart. When we tap into our true being, we raise our vibration and begin to live according to the universe's greater divine will for our life that is greater than our own. And this is what our free will is for. And let's not forget that Leo rules the will, I will. We talk about Mars and Aries being the willpower as well, because it's that I am presence, that charging forward. But the real force of I will is Leo, the expansive sun, the heart that's always on fire. We see the old images of Christ, one hand to the heart and the other hand pointing skyward. I borrow this image a lot with the Prana Mudra, which is the basis of the 7 Diamond Mudra. The Prana Mudra is the basis of the 7 Diamond Mudra. This is how you start it. And Prana Mudra to the heart, Prana Mudra to the sky. We see images of Christ with this and other saints and historical and scriptural figures. But a lot of time it's the Christus. The heart is the fire that's always lit like the sun. Sagittarius is going to mutate that fire into smoke, into burning the fields, into burning. The fire is going to consume the earth that it can consume. That's part of the mutation. The fixed fire of the sun, the heart, represents just the glowing fire itself, which is always on, like a light bulb. And we know that on some scientific level, it literally is a fire. And we've seen the artwork of that too, the Christic artwork of the heart of Christ literally being a flame, a fire that we see as in a fireplace or in a fire pit, a flame of a candle. This is true on the metaphysical level. In order to open the heart, we must, as I spoke of in part 1 of this meditation just 24 hours ago, the freezing rain of our deepest emotions must flow and melt away in the light of the effervescent. I have not known a lot of Leo people in my life in terms of numbers, but those Leos that I have known, people with heavy Leo energy, have been significant in my life, and I would say past and present in that regard. And thank God for that. The energy of Leo is so vital, especially for those of us who don't have strong Leo placements in our actual natal chart. The energy of Leo is critical in our lives. It is there to remind us there is always, always, always a light somewhere and a way to shine a light on every single situation. We know that the downside of this is pride and insecurity. And I hinted to this in part 1, which is very brief. I was just getting my head around the meditation, but I wanted to talk about it. The downside, as there is a downside to every energy of the cosmos, the downside, dark side, if you would rather use that term, to Leo, is insecurity and overweening pride, or avarice, if that's the right word, arrogance. And it could take either form. It could take both. Let's be fair. Some of the most arrogant people that we've known in our lives are the most insecure. And some of the most humble people in our lives are Leos. Not necessarily the most outwardly prideful. In their heart, they are that. But in their deepest understanding, they are that. Because they're the king of the jungle, the queen of the jungle. Their biggest strength, their greatest strength is their humility. The greatest upside of Leo is to tap into our deepest humility, which is our greatest strength. The upside of Leo is to tap into our deepest humility, which is our greatest strength. Therefore, when the cold light of the full moon is in that place, we must experience the freezing rain of that deepest emotion that only the moon can carry. The moon is carrying that. If we think about what the moon does to a beach when it is full, and imagine that being the inside of your being, which is 70% fluid. There are parts of our being, metaphysically speaking, that are now barren, that are now in a state of low tide. When a moon is full in the area of our heart, which is always aflame, the emotional bit of that, i.e. the lower chakras, and the sankharas in the mind, the formations of thought, which together form our experience of stress and emotional experience. And to be fair, in order to be emotional, there must be an element of it which is physical. And that flows out of the spiritual, the physical, and the mental into what we experience as emotion. The moon represents that. And let's not forget the moon rules Cancer, the sign just next to Leo. Leo is the height of the summer, the sun, and Cancer, the beginning of summer, is the moon. The moon is our home and family, our comfort, our nurture. The ways that we nurture and the ways that we are nurtured. And the sun and Leo is the way that we stand tall on our own and say, I will do this and you will not tell me no. And the moon comes along when it is full in the month of February in the Gregorian calendar to remind us, you cannot stand up and beat your chest until you take care of this business down here, which has become frozen due to your overweening pride or your ridiculous insecurities, which are played out and dated and at this point merely a habitual behavior. And physician, heal thyself. I'm speaking to my own self as much as I might be preaching to the choir on that one and any of this, to be fair. If we don't get the dichotomy now, maybe we never will. What is our greatest strength? Our greatest strength is our deepest love and our deepest humility, our deepest empathy is our strength. Those of us who were not born with heavy Leo placements have taken years to understand this. And those who have heavy Leo placements in their natal chart were born into this life and into our particular movie of life to teach us that. It's right there in our heart all the time. Expand and glow, expand and find a light in something. Find a light in something. Shaman friend of mine in South America told me that on the night of one of my darkest experiences. This person reminded me that in every single situation in life, there is always a light on somewhere. There's a tiny light, even if it's so small, it is there. The Leo energy in the cosmos wouldn't even understand this concept because all it knows is the expansion and the glowing of light in every direction, all the time, 24/7. And it represents that for the entire gestalt of our experience in life. And that is why the extremes can come out in the Leo energy. And when that extreme is met with the extremes of the moon, we have heavy drama, which involves emotion. Emotional drama, if you will. When it's manifesting in its toxic state, if you will. In its non-toxic state, it is manifesting as a heart on fire that weeps with empathy for those in pain, celebrates with tears of relief and victory for those who are winning, understanding the connection between the two because it's all the same fire. This would be the ultimate understanding of Leo, almost obliviously, glowingly, heart-centered light, which can only glow properly with the unhinging of the ice, water, freezing rain depth of emotion that has been neglected due to the up-down extremes of Leo, which are too far toward the overweening this or too far toward. Without the balance, it can't glow properly. Let us not forget the heart is the center chakra. There are 3 lower and 3 upper. The heart is the mediator. And in the color scheme, it's actually green. Because in the physical, when the sun shines into the 3D, the sun is a 5D source, if you will. When it shines into the natural world, which includes the water, we get green. And the heart in the human body, in the human flesh body, which is part of the earth, is green. The plot thickens. And we're one tick away from Valentine's Day, are we not? Isn't that interesting? And what's the color of all the They're not red. They're not supposed to be red. Red color is down low in the root chakra, which represents the Sodom and Gomorrah, which represents the lower energies of the body, which are important too. The heart is green. We think of the sun, of course, glowing gold, which in many traditions is here. And when I speak to students about astrology, particularly as being such a wonderful language of God, is that reason itself, because it puts us in a mindset where we think in multiple layers. It leads us into holistic 5-dimensional thinking. At the same time, Leo the heart is a heart on fire, the fixed fire of Leo, the color of the lion itself, right? It's green in the spinal ganglia of nerves. It's known as green because it is the mediator. That effervescent fire in the human life, in the human flesh, becomes the mediator of our soul on the earth. The mediator of our soul on the earth. And therefore it is green, representing the grass that grows, the leaves that come out of the trees, that which chloroform is produced from the rain and the sun together. And we are that. In our essence, we are that in the physical form. Therefore, green color representing that. This moon cycle in Leo, cold light of the moon and the bright light of the sun, forms together in our deepest inner standing and outer standing and understanding, can bring the heart green, the mediator energy of the heart, which is our deepest strength, greatest strength, our deepest humility, greatest humility all at once. It is our greatest pride and our greatest shame. It is the green heart produced by the flowing motion of the moon and the golden light of the sun. Hare Krishna, hallelujah. Namaste.